2 months after the 8 Western Section teams were confirmed for the AFC Champions League, the knockout stages, the delayed Eastern Section gets underway. And first up today in Group G, it's Pohang Steelers from the Korea Republic against Ratchaburi, making their debut from Thailand. At the Ratchaburi Stadium, the national stadium in Thailand. But again, unfortunately, no spectators here for the group stages of these Eastern Section matches due to the current coronavirus pandemic, of course. The players all safely secured in a bubble, which is why the competition is allowed to go ahead. We've got 3 venues in Thailand and 2 venues in Uzbekistan hosting the 5 groups. And the 5 group winners will go through automatically, joined by the 3 best second-place teams to complete our round of 16, which will be played in the knockout stages a little bit later on in the year. The heat and humidity could well play a starring role over the next 3 weeks or so. Temperature up around 31 degrees today. Humidity not too bad, but it will be a test for these players who will play games every 3 days. 6 games to play in the group stages. 4 teams in each group, of course. The other 2 teams that make up this group, the Japanese side Nagoya Grampus, and from Malaysia Jordarul Tazim. Those are teams in Group G, which will be based here in Bangkok for the duration of their matches. Masks still the order of the day here. Looking forward to seeing Ratchaburi on their competition debut. Thailand have had a total of 11 clubs there now that have played in the competition. Only Japan, China and Korea have more representation in this AFC Champions League. These teams will be looking to get up to a good start. Ratchaburi, of course, the unknown quantity. Their coach coming here and saying the preparations are good. We'll give you the team news in a moment, which will show he has given 4 debuts today. Ratchaburi, while the Pohang Steelers lineup is a fairly settled lineup that, if you're familiar with the K-League, you'll know most of the players. They've been pretty much regulars throughout the K-League season. Still 4 games to go in the Korea Republic. Because this newly expanded AFC Champions League for this season, 40 teams as opposed to the usual 32. It means that finishing second in the group isn't good enough to guarantee you a place in the knockout stages. Just 3 of the 5 second place teams will go through. We will get a chance over the next few days to see the defending champions, of course, Ulsan Hyundai, who won the 2020 final, beating Iran's Persepolis in the final. Magnificent stadium here. Used for the 1998 Asian Games. It was opened in '98, built specifically for that competition or that tournament. Bangkok Glass have used this stadium for their AFC Champions League games in the past, when of course it was a standard home and away format. Also games here in the AFC Under-23 Championship that saw the Korea Republic beat Saudi Arabia in the final. And as a result, Korea Republic, Saudi Arabia and Australia all qualified to play in the Olympic football tournament in Tokyo in just a few weeks' time now. 40th edition of Asia's premier club competition. It's the 19th in its guise as the AFC Champions League. And the long wait is over for fans in this Eastern section, having looked on as the Western teams played out their matches in April. Now the competition can really get going for these 20 teams. Hopefully it won't be too long in this part of the world before spectators are being allowed back in again. We've seen the Euro 2020 championships taking place at the moment with limited capacities in some stadiums, and others like Hungary's at Budapest Stadium, full capacities. So vaccinations and protocols helping the way to hopefully us getting back to normal fairly soon as the two teams make their way out into this fantastic arena in the heart of Bangkok for the opening game in the AFC Champions League Eastern Region group stages. Pohang Steelers currently 5th in the K-League, taking on Ratchaburi from Thailand, who finished 8th in the Thai League table, a good 31 points behind the eventual winners of that BG Pathum United. And the new way to socially distance, really show your appreciation at the start of the game. Rather than the traditional handshakes, players will give each other a round of applause before breaking off to get their team photos. Well, let's take a look at the two teams. The Pohang Steelers lineup, as we say, is a fairly settled lineup. It's just 2 changes from their last league game against Gwangju back at the end of May. Boris Tashti, the Ukrainian, coming in up front, with Chang Ming Guang coming in at the back. Referee today is Ma Ning from China. Both his assistants are from the People's Republic of China as well. Hassan Abo Yaha from Lebanon is the 4th official. Stephen Langil, the Ratchaburi captain, and his opposite number, Bumsuk from Pohang Steelers. 2 very experienced players. Because Ratchaburi will be out looking to cause an upset here. Sebastian Woodrick, Vafa, Hakamaneshi, Kasidek, Wetayong and Junior Mapuko all make debuts for Ratchaburi today in a new look lineup for their coach Seksan Sirapong. It's not really experimental, but using his new signings to good effect. Of course, as we say, the Thai season has finished, so already preparations in plan for the next campaign. 13 wins in their 30 matches for Ratchaburi. Plenty of options for both coaches available off the bench. Final huddle, final few words before we prepare to get things underway. So it will be Pohang Steelers in the red and black that get us underway. They'll kick from right to left in the first half. An eerie atmosphere inside this vast stadium that holds some 60,000 when there are people here. It's been slightly noisier when the big matches have been played here, plus some of the concerts that have been here as well. Lady Gaga and One Direction have all played in this stadium. Will the play be One Direction today, or will Ratchaburi make themselves a good debut in the competition? They're looking to get on the attack early on here. And they'll get the first shot on goal as well, and that wasn't too far away inside the opening minute. Was Kim Ji-dong there, the Pohang Steelers coach, the man who was K-League Manager of the Year in 2020. But his side could have easily found themselves an early goal down there. Seksan Sirapong already making a few notes. Another chance at the other end. This time is cleared away by Vafa. So making his debut today, Vafa Hakamanishi, from Iran, signed from Traktasazi. It's been a fairly open start to the game inside the opening couple of minutes. Promising signs that we might get a few goals in this opening game. Always important to get off to a win, of course. It can stand you in such good stead in a group that just contains 4 teams. A victory can be good enough to get you through. Well, there's a challenge from Tanaset, which is earning him a yellow card. So chances and an early yellow card here. Well, Tanaset Surajit straight into the book, and with only a few minutes gone, he'll be watching his step for, well, the next 85 minutes or so. Sangwoo was the player that was brought down. There's that chance at the other end. The goalkeeper Kampong came out. It was flicked goalwards. Didn't really have the power on it. Vafa coming across and clearing the ball off the line. Straight away having a little go at his new teammates. So free kick to Pohang. Trying to hold a high line, Ratchaburi. This should be fairly comfortable for Kampong, the goalkeeper. Palacios. Tashti in the centre. So another of those new signings. Kvezic just behind him. Ukrainian, a Bosnian and a Colombian among the foreigners in the Pohang Steelers lineup. Confirmation of Tanaset Surajit's yellow card. Just 4 foreigners allowed in the AFC Champions League. Meanwhile, just tugged back there by Mapuku, another player making his debut today. Junior Mapuku, signed from Al Shula in Saudi Arabia. Talk about journeyman in football. He's actually played in France, Greece, Bulgaria, Egypt, Turkey, China, Romania, Iran and Saudi Arabia. Plenty of air miles for the striker, looking to make an impact on his debut, the 31-year-old. Another little nudge there on Tashti. Sangyup. It's a good run from Sangwoo. Mapuku. Langil just pointing that he wanted that one played more down the line than into his feet. Stephen Langil, the captain. 7 goals in the Thai League last season. It's gone back to Ming Wang. There's the captain, Brumsik. Now Palacios loves to run with the ball at defenders. Kvezic trying to make a room for the shot. Kvezic, and pushed away by Kampon for a corner. So after that early scare from Ratchaburi with that shot just off target, it's Pohang that have had a couple of efforts now. One cleared off the line by Vafa. That one turned away by the goalkeeper Kampon. First corner of the game. Jinho. Kvezic. Jinho had stayed out wide. It's not a great ball in. Bumsuk's header. Pushing the back of Wetiyuwong. Ball the ball out of defence well there. Jinho with a clumsy challenge. Didn't really need to make that challenge in that position. Shin Jinho. Reached the quarter-finals in 2010 and 2014, Pohang Steelers, having won it in 2009, of course. It is their first appearance in the competition since 2016. They went out in the group stages, finished behind Sydney FC, Urawa Red Diamonds and Granshu Evergrande. Just one win in that campaign over Urawa, the Japanese. Their fans fondly remember that victory over Saudi Arabia's Al Ittihad 2-1 in the 2009 final. Ball being played almost exclusively in the Ratchaburi half of the field at the moment. This is Mapuku, just away from Maita. Langel can't quite reach that loose ball. Jinho. Wide to Palacios. Ball just held up nicely for him. Taking on Kiatasak. Good ball in. And a simple header for the debutant to get his opening goal for his new club. Boris Tashti, the Ukrainian. Great header. Well, it's actually only his second goal for the club, having joined recently, and a good header. Good ball in. Palacios twisting and turning out wide. Kiatasak, the man who you turned inside out, and in between the two defenders, it may well have gone in off Vafa. But Tashti will claim the opening goal of the game to put his side in front. Well, he spent most of his career playing in Germany, Boris Tashti. So I'm sure he'll be looking on to watch his countrymen in that Euro 2020 tournament at the moment. They finished third in their group, may not be enough to get them through to the knockout stages. He's got one aim here, and that's to try and get his side up to a winning start in this AFC Champions League group stage. Vafa. Ratchaburi up against it right from the start here. They did end the season with just one defeat in 9 games, the Thai League side. 3 wins and 5 draws. So despite the fact they finished 8th in the table, they were a long way behind the eventual champions, BG Pathum United. 31 points, the gap between 1st and 8th. It's quite ironic, of course, that had the qualification been based on their end position, they wouldn't have qualified. They were 4th halfway through the 2020-21 season, thus qualifying for the AFC Champions League, and of course benefiting from Jiangsu's withdrawal as well from the competition. As Palacios already shown what a danger he can be. Wriggles away once again, given away to Kiatisak. Woodrick. Vafa. Tanaset, the man who was booked early on. It is a double-header today in the group. After this match, there'll be a couple of hour break before Nagoya Grampus take on Jordarul Tazim from Malaysia. No games in the group stages tomorrow because we do have one place up for grabs still. There's a playoff match tomorrow between Shanghai Port FC from China and KOR FC from the Philippines. That's a good header off the bar, and twice off the bar, and Ratchaburi very, very close to an equaliser. It was Dimitra that got the header to it. Hyun Moo was beaten, but Ratchaburi, who went close with that Kritsanen shot inside the opening minute, he was a long way out with the header. Got good power on it, and the goalkeeper relieved to see the second one bounce off the top of the bar as well. Just guided it, used the pace on the cross to help it goalwards. And a let-off for Pohang, having taken the lead just a moment or so ago. do have a couple of landmark moments for teams in the group stage of the competition. We mentioned there the Philippines have a team in the playoffs. They do have a team in Group I, United City FC becoming the first Philippine side to play in the group stages of the competition. And Tampines Rovers from Singapore, the first Singapore side for 11 years to play in the group stage as well. So along with Ratchaburi, who are making their debut, lots of new faces to look forward to over the next few weeks. Away by Sang Hyuk. Ming Wang. Sang Woo. Do move the ball around nicely, the Koreans. There's a little bit of pace in the passing. Good movement off the ball as well. This is the man they have to watch, though. Palacios on the ball again. Tashti. Sang-yu gets to the byline. Nodded back by Palacios. Tashti with his back to goal. Jin-ho. Plenty of white shirts back behind the ball. Ball over the top. The flag might have gone up if Tashti got a foot on that. It runs through to Kampon in goal. Ratchaburi have shown that they've got what's in them to create some chances. Alarm bells for Pohang would have been ringing with that early shot from Kritsanen. Vafa. Langil. It's popped up on that far side for the moment. Away by Wang Qiu. Kampon will nod it back to his goalkeeper. Well, Langel appealing more in hope than expectation there, the Ratchaburi captain. Not too sure what he was appealing for. It didn't seem to be near an arm. Sang-hyuk. Sang-hyuk getting forward again on the overlap with Sang-woo. Just did well to keep the ball in play. Pulls back towards Tashti and stabbed behind for a corner. Second corner of the game for the side for the Korea Republic. Sang-woo will swing this one over. Kampon just urging the referee to watch what's going on in front of him. Bit of pushing and shoving as always. Put it away this time. Come back out to Sang-woo again. Jin-ho. Kvezic. It's a good ball in. The header might just have taken that one away from Sang-hyup. Langil. That'll be a foul. Kwang Hoon going straight through the back, just mistimed more than malicious. A bit of a miss hit by Vaffa, but was always heading back to his goalkeeper. Ratchaburi will play the Malaysians in their second game, Jordarul Tazim, for a couple of games against Nagoya Grampus. Matches 3 and 4 are always what would have been the old reverse fixtures, despite the fact we're playing in the same stadium. There is no home advantage, of course, with these neutral venues. It was aimed down the line for Sang-hyup, didn't quite reach its intended target from Sang-woo. Boomso. Kvezic. Palacios teasing Kiatasak once again. Nice little ball in, away by Tanaset. Still not cleared. Boomsuk goes through, but referee spotted an infringement. Pohang had to deal with a couple of big departures from their squad back in January. Formidable partnership it was as well. Russia's Stanislav Iljachenko and Serbia's Alexander Palasovic both leaving the club. Have won 5 K-League titles in their day, but haven't lifted the trophy since 2004, Pohang. Kvezic giving the free kick away. Stephen Langil with a chance to put the Koreans' defence under pressure. Not a great free kick though. They'll sail away comfortably for a goal kick. Be disappointed with that, the captain. Played most of his early career in France, played over 50 times for Auxerre. Just saw the coach there, Kim Shi-dong for Pohang Steelers. He was actually in that team that won the 2009 AFC Champions League. Two-time K-League winner as well. It was actually 2013 they last won the K-League title, not 2004. That was the last time they were runners-up. So have played in the Club World Cup as well after their exploits of winning the AFC Champions League back in 2009. Sang-hyup finding a little bit of space down this near side. Good ball in towards Tashti, who was nudged in the back. Well, the Chinese referee saw nothing wrong with that. Tashti was just about to swing a boot at that. and ended up on the deck, but no foul. Wutrik. Langil. Mapuku, rather. Wutrik. Aimed towards Langil, but comfortably cut out by Kwang Hoon. Nudged on by Jinho. Kovacic happy to go back to his captain, Bumsu. Tashti goes to ground once again and again, and there's no foul. Kritsananen, player who had that shot inside the opening minute, which whistled over the top of Hyunmu's crossbar. Here he is again, Kritsananen. Pavi. Just lacking that searching pass at the moment to pick out a player in space, Ratchaburi, and they've been caught in possession. Good play by Sang-hyup, who rode the challenge, looking for some support in the centre. It's arriving now in Kvesic. Miss-hit the shot, it was going well wide. But it's a good breakaway after Ratchaburi had possession in a good position. They just couldn't find anything going forward. But they will win a free kick. Wetty was the man that was down. That was the penalty appeal at the other end, with Tashti going down under Pavi's challenge. Inquiring look at the referee. His only goal of the season did come from a penalty against Guangzhou back in April. I'm sure he would have relished the chance to have another go from 12 yards. Driven in by Palacios. Good save, Campon. It's Langil that's down this time, just protesting. It's a little bit scrappy at times. Challenge from Ming Wang. The free kick has gone the other way. That was why Langil was having a few words with the Chinese referee. Campon just organising in his defenders. Kwang Hoon will take the free kick as we approach the half-hour mark. Pohang leading by a goal to nil. Back in by Sang-hyup. Offside flag up though. Ratchaburi would love to get themselves back on level terms before half-time. Wetayawong. Good ball through, chase on from Mapuku. Just ran out of pitch. He was trying to just get that around the goalkeeper, but pass maybe just had a little bit too much pace on it. Good goalkeeper by Hyunmu, who was quickly off his line. Didn't get the final touch on it, so it will be a corner, so Ratchaburi still with a chance. Was in by Langil. Vafa's header went slightly away from goal, just making a meal of getting this clear. Bumsuk, the captain. Puku lurking again. And the throw is nodded away, but not with any great conviction. Swung back in again. Vafa's just dropped off towards that back post. It was away from Puku. On by Palacios. Woodrick nodded forward. Vafa goes back to Kiatasak. Woodrick. Wetayawong. Vafa. Nicely turned off by Langil. Tanaset, though, couldn't quite get the better of Sanghyub. Throwing goes against him as well. He's not quite running Ratchaburi's way at the moment in this first half. We one or two of the decisions. Kang Sang-woo with the throw. Despite the fact that Ratchaburi have had a fair amount of the ball in the first half, Pohang have always looked in control. Just have that ability to dictate the pace of the game and slow things down. Very much in the Korean style, of course. We've seen the Korea Republic cause plenty of upsets in major tournaments in the past. That's great play once again in towards Palacios. Important touch by Kampon. Free kick's gone against Pohang, but it was an important interception by the goalkeeper. Great work by Sang-woo. Palacios with the foul though on Kiatasak. Not the tallest goalkeeper in the world, Kampon, but he got a good hand on that to flick the ball away. Pohang looking to finish the first half strongly. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Bumsuk. Ming Wang. Shin-ho. Sang-woo's seen plenty of the ball in the first half. They've combined well, the two, Sang-hyub and Sang-woo down this near side. Be a foul by Langil. Once again, it's a bit too physical in that melee of players for the referee's liking. You're always going to get the pushing and shoving when the players are in such close proximity in the penalty area. Sang-woo it'll be with the free kick. Group of 5 Pohang players all in a group now, trying to break away and find some space. He's gone for a corner. Good defending in the end. Tashti's an aerial threat. Vuteric, the Swiss in there, one of the debutants, having signed from Astra Giurgiu in Romania. So one of 4 debutants in the Ratchaburi team today. Tashti again is the man that's been spoken to. Ball straight into the arms of Kampong though when the corner was eventually taken. And Shin-ho all the way back to Hyun-moo. So Pohang will be delighted to get off to a winning start, having missed out in the last 4 seasons in the competition. Well played by Wang Q, back to Hyun-moo. Just beats Watawa Yong into touch. Kim Ji-dong there, who played over 500 games in the K-League, the 5th highest in terms of appearances. Former Korea Republic under-23 coach as well. The K-League Manager of the Year in 2020. Pohang finished 3rd in the 2020 season, the year that their coach won that coveted title. He's behind Chonbuk Motors and Ulsan Hyundai. Chase on for Palacios, always going to run through to Kampong. Wataewong. The little nudge and a kick out by Kvesic. Bosnia-Herzegovina, former youth international. Sangwoo. Sankyub outside him as always, as he has been throughout this first half. Tashti. Bumso. Away by Kiatasak, only as far as Watawa Yong, who's gone back towards his own goal. Quickly closed down by two Pohang players, Kwang Hoon being one of them. Don't give the opposition too much time on the ball, the Koreans. Well, apart from the goal that they scored through Tashti, Pohang haven't really created too many clear-cut chances in this first half. There was that sort of effort stab goalwards that Vafa got to well in front of the goal line. At the other end, the only real effort has been that early shot from Kritsanen inside the first minute. I think Ratchaburi need to try and come up with a little bit of creativity. A bit like that, that's brilliant from Sankyub to buy himself some space, completely outfox the fullback. Too far is it for Palacios, helped away by Kiatasak for a corner. Good play. Much better from Pohang Steelers going forward. Brilliant play down this near side by Sankyub, who's been excellent in the first half. Sankyub has scored 4 goals in the last 4 games, scored a hat-trick against Suwon back in May. He's got a chance here maybe from picking up some pieces from the corner. It's Jin Ho with the corner. Long-range header, Ming Wang over the top though. Pavi. Wataewong. Vafa. Forced to go back to his goalkeeper. Just keeping their shape nicely, the Koreans at the moment. Jin Ho and Kvesic just anchoring that midfield behind Tashti. Demetra forward to Langil. That's good play by Tanaset, just released the ball before he got hit. Langil, can he come up with some quality? No, he can't. It's gathered in by Hyunmu rather. Good chance that from Langil, found a little bit of space to get the cross in. Mapuku was trying to find some space in the middle. Did have a look at Langil before he played that ball in. Mapuku trying to get across the goalkeeper. Maybe a little bit of pace off that ball. He might have got there first, but comfortably gathered in by the keeper. One additional minute at the end of the first half. We're already well into that. No, it's been an interesting first half. I don't think Seksan Sirapong will be too disappointed with Ratchaburi's contribution so far. So they did have that early shot which whistled over the top. That cross from Langil a moment ago will have given them a little bit of hope that they can get in behind the Pohang Steelers defence. It's a little bit in front at the moment. Teams can make 5 substitutions as well, by the way, so we could well see plenty of changes in the second half. I'm sure the coach is again mindful of the fact that these players will play every 3 days. Sang-woo aimed towards Sang-hyup, didn't quite reach in though, and the referee's whistle goes. Ma-ning blows the whistle for half-time. Boris Tashti's goal separating the teams at the break. Ratchaburi didn't look out of sorts though. Langil looked lively. That cross at the end was gathered in. That shot from Kritsanen in the first minute whistled over the top. Kampon hasn't had too much to do apart from pick the ball out of the net from Tashti's headed effort. But it is the effort that separates the teams at half-time. There is the goal scorer, looking to add to his tally in the second half, but Ratchaburi certainly not out of this one yet at the halfway stage, and an interesting team talk to come for Seksan Siripong. Half-time here in Thailand in the opening match of the AFC group stages. It's Pohang Steelers 1, Ratchaburi FC 0. Welcome back to the Ratchaburi Stadium in Thailand. It's the opening round of matches in the AFC Champions League Eastern section. Group stages, Group G, first up today, double header. Pohang Steelers, they're leading the Thai debutants Ratchaburi by a 1-0 at half-time. Boris Tashti there, the Ukrainian, was the man who got the only goal in that first half. Stephen Langil, the Ratchaburi captain, will be doing his best to lift his players in the second half. So very much the unknown quantity coming into the side. Finished 8th, as we said, in the Thai League last season. 13 wins from their 30 matches. Only failed to score in 5 of their league games last season as well. So they do invariably know where the net is, but they're up against a very good defence today from Pohang. Vafa there, one of 4 new faces in the Ratchaburi lineup today. Like we're getting a couple of substitutions at half-time. Both for Pohang. Su Bin and Young Jun are the 2 players coming on. That's why the huddle was just being held for a moment to wait for those formalities to be completed. And there could well be a change for Ratchaburi as well. There's only 9 outfield players in that little huddle. Go Young Jun played 15 times in the K-League last season. There is the change for Ratchaburi. Narakorn coming on. So I'll confirm in a moment which players have actually made way. Referee Ma Ning will get us underway for the second half. Man who was in charge for a couple of AFC World Cup qualifiers a couple of weeks ago. Took charge of Afghanistan against Oman and India against Qatar. Those games also at centralised venues in Doha. And we're underway. Straight away, Palacios is on the ball. Here is one of the substitutes, Young Jun. As we said, 5 substitutions allowed. They can only be used at 3 windows plus half-time. Palacios just waited for that to drop over Kiatisak and got the header in. Kampong was well placed, though. Wouldn't have seen that one till late. Palacios, the ball dropping over the defender. Kim Ji-dong, I'm sure, would have liked more goals on the board for his side's possession in the first half. Kiatisak with the throw. It is Bumsuk, the captain, that's gone off for Pohang. Well, certainly he's one of the changes. And towards Mapuku. Fouled by Ming Wang, who was sticking tightly to him. Kiatasak just lost that for a second. Subin. Sangwoo has adopted the captain's armband for the second half, with Bumsup going off. Vafa. Pavi. Dishmaita playing very deep. Here's Palacios again. He's got Tashti in the centre. It's a good challenge. He's taking up a huge piece of turf as well. Palacios still going. Trying to weave his way through and wins his side a corner. Pavi stuck to his task there. Palacios has been a danger man throughout so far. No rush to take the corner here, Shinho. Just caught sight of one of the ball boys there, just grabbing that ball, and the ball has to be disinfected when it goes out of play before it can be placed on one of the cones around the pitch. In by Shinho. He came off the back of one of the Pohang players. He was attacking that, and two players down. Mapuku, the man that was back on defensive duty. Tussle between those two. Doesn't look too happy at the moment. Didn't want the ice applied to his shoulder. Mapuku. There's a real tussle between those two. Mapuku will have to go off the field, as will Wang Q, before they've been called back on as the trainer came on for them. A bit of confusion at the moment. It is going to be a goal kick. That's a free kick, in fact. Now, Tashti goal in the first half. The only strike we've had on the score so far. Pohang leading by a goal to nil. Former winners of this competition against the debutants from Thailand. Palacios was just caught there by Kiatasak. It's a shame he picked up a knock, because he could well have been clearing on, well, certainly down the near touchline had he managed to carry on his run. Yeah, just caught on the shin there as Kiatasak tried to guide that one away, but had Palacios been able to react, hasn't played for a while. Kiatasak didn't play a single game last season for Ratchaburi. Has played 20 games in the Thai League, but not played since the 2020 season. Mapuku once again back on defensive duty and getting a telling off, as is often the case these days. A lot of people's feeling is just allow the free kick to be taken. If you spot a foul, give a penalty, or if it goes the other way, give a free kick. Let's see what happens here. Mario Kvezic, by the way, was the other player that went off for Pohang. Away by Vafa. And Sebastian Wutrick as the man who made way for Ratchaburi in those 3 half-time substitutes. Here's Palacios. Ming Wang. Pohang take on the Japanese Nagoya Grampus in their second group game in 3 days' time. All the games in this group will be in this stadium, so there will be an air of familiarity about proceedings when they come back again. Langil. Kritsaninen. Wong. Vafa. Too much movement ahead of Kritsaninen at the moment. The ball's going sideways and backwards from Ratchaburi at the moment. Parvi now put under pressure by Jinho. Mapuku was coming back from an offside position, hence it's a comfortable clearance, or a comfortable back pass rather, for Ming Wang. Kwang Hoon. Good attack, early ball in behind Sanghyub, though not what was needed. Good pacey run out of defence. Pavi. Tanaset. One that picked up that early yellow card for Ratchaburi. Flicked by Kritsaninen. Bit of space here for Wong. You can see Langill's frustration, that ball just failing to reach him. Vafa wins the header. Narakorn, the substitute. Now Langil gets the ball. Mapuku in the centre, stabbed away by Ming Wang. Kiatasak. Schmeiter almost losing possession. Mapuku. Haven't really seen him much with the ball at his feet. Early ball in, looking for Langil. It was an important interception by Sang-woo to get that one clear. Mapuku trying to get that ball in behind the Pohang Steelers defence. We're going to see another change. And it is coming from the Koreans. Here's that ball in again from Mapuku. Knew where Langil was. Frustrating. So Palacios has made way. And it's the Australian Alex Grant that's come on in his place. Straight onto defensive duty for the corner. What kind of delivery are we going to get from Deshmaita? Plucked out of the air by Hyun Moo. Not a good one is the answer. The referee, I think, has blown the whistle for the free kick. Could have allowed that to run on there rather than stopping play. Alex Grant has come on. Just the one substitute appearance for Pohang during the J-League season. Man who was born in Manchester. Didn't have too much success in terms of career in England. Played 25 times for Macclesfield in non-league before moving to Perth Glory. I think Ratchaburi might be quite pleased to see the back of Palacios, actually, because he was certainly posing a threat. Looked very lively early on, cutting in from the right-hand touchline. That's Mapuku that was fouled. Narrow corner looking to try and take this one quickly, but Mapuku is still on the deck. Grant looks like he's dropped in at left back. Everybody else will sort of shuffle around to accommodate that. You can just see Sang-woo there, who's gone into a more central midfield position behind Tashti. Away by Wan Q. Here is Sang-woo. Overlap from Kwang Hoon. Kwang Hoon again. Good ball over the top. Sang-woo with the run. Didn't quite pick him out though. With Taeyawong. Brought down to his frustration in midfield, quickly held back to his feet by Kwang Hoon. Pohang did win their last game against Thai opposition. They beat Buranam United 2-1 away from home in the 2014 group stage. 0-0 at home. Kiatasak going to get a ticking off here for the foul in the back of Sang-woo. Talk about top goal scorers. Abdul Razak Hamdallah was the top scorer in last season's competition with 7 goals. That was surpassed this year. Michael Olunga from Al Dahail got 9, but amazingly Al Dahail didn't make it through. They finished second in their group, but a draw on match day 6 meant that they didn't qualify as one of the 3 best second place teams. So Olunga won't get to add to that tally in the knockout stages. In fact, both Qatar sides knocked out in the group. Now here's Mapuku. What can he do here? It's a heavy touch. Might still fall for Taeyawong. Plenty of white shirts forward, plenty of red and black shirts back. Kritsananen had that shot inside the first minute, not tempted to have another go. Has to go back to Pavi and wasted ball over the top. That will be a goal kick. Three Iranian teams among the 8 that went through from the western section. Tarik Tor, Istiklal and Persepolis, last year's beaten finalists. Istiklal from Tajikistan, Al Hilal from Saudi, Al Nazar from Saudi Arabia, and Sharjah and Al Wadar from the UAE, making up the 8 that are already safely through to the knockout stages. He's not having the best of days today. Mapuku had that chance a moment or so ago when he burst into the area, but it was a heavy touch. Ming Wang and co have managed to shackle him fairly successfully so far. There's Kritsaninen. Vafa. Pavi. Mateo Wong just wriggles away from the challenge and finds himself a little bit of space. Kiatasek outside him, can't find him though. That could be a foul, it could be a yellow card as well, and will be the second yellow card of the game. Stephen Langle just complaining about that interception a moment or so ago. Yellow card for Narakorn, who only came on at half-time, the 22-year-old. Yeah, it's not a great challenge. His feet were off the ground. He's one of those scissor-type challenges. Joins Tanaset in the referee's book. 2 yellow cards in the group stage would mean a suspension for the following match. Did have a famous name at the helm 3 years or so ago, Ratchaburi. Christian Ziege, the Serie A, Bundesliga and European Championship winner, was named as their head coach. Created a lot of hype going into the season, but that quickly fell flat as he departed after just a couple of games. That's a good ball forward for Langil, who's onside. Ming Wen goes across, needs support, gets in there from Mapuku. Good save, Hyun Mu. And Pohang get the ball away. Well, the clearest chance we've seen for Ratchaburi in this second half to get an equaliser. Mapuku Jr. finally getting a shot on target. Stung the fingers of the Korean goalkeeper, Hyun Mu. Much travelled Mapuku, as we said earlier on. Has played in Asia with Iran, but Thailand is the furthest east. It's headed away as far as Dushmaita. Tanaset. Just too much on the reverse ball for Narakorn. See what he was trying to do, just didn't execute it very well. Pohang about to make their 4th change of the match. So the 5 substitutions in action, of course, because of the current pandemic situation. And I think the coaches will be quite pleased with the humidity as high as it is here to be able to rotate half your outfield squad if you so desire. It's Tashti, the man who scored the goal, that's coming off. And Lee Sung Mo coming on. There is the goal in the first half. Tashti getting in between the 2 defenders. It could well have come off Vafa's head, but the ball was certainly going on target. Lee Sung Mo comes on. He's only scored twice for Pohang Steelers, one of those coming in the FA Cup win against Yangzhou Citizen back in July last year. Ratchaburi, though, will feel they're still in this at 1-0. Mapuku, the man who had that shot a moment or so ago, Presses the accelerator again. Oh, it's just clipped his heels. He's not having too much luck. In possession, Mapuku Jr. First touch for Sung Mo, the substitute. Sang Woo. Now Jin Ho. Subin. Kwang Hoon. That's good play, a little bit of space just opening up. It was the substitute, Young Jun, with a shot. And still the pressure on, and eventually the ball runs through to Kampon, who makes the save. But Young Jun with a bursting run through the Ratchaburi defence. Mapuku goes down, and that could be another yellow card for Ming Wang. Well, another yellow card. It's the first one for Pohang Steelers. Ming Wang into the book. Always a danger when a player the pace of Mapuku Jr. just gets beyond the defender. Sometimes it's not a question of quite taking one for the team, but just a rash challenge can often look worse than it is and often draw the yellow card. And he's been a handful without really threatening that. Just that one shot on goal so far. Vafra and Alex Grant in there. Pavi, number 39, there's come forward. Langil will swing this one over. It's curling in towards the goalkeeper. Too close again for Hyun Moo. That's the second time that Langil's taken a free kick that's gone straight through to the keeper, who just took a knock as he gathered that one. Hyun Moo. He's Pohang's first choice goalkeeper, Kang Hyun Moo. Came through the club's youth system. He's made over 130 appearances in the K-League for them now. Sung Mo. It's all the way across to Sang Hyub. Sang Woo. Three waiting for this ball to come in. It was an important interception by Pavi to put that one over his own bar. Just to stretch the groin as well. There was a player lurking behind him. He had to get a touch on that. Otherwise, Sang Woo could easily have just walked that one in. Another change here for Ratchaburi. Jirawat Tong Seng Frau is the one that's come on. He's gone straight back onto defensive duties. And the corner too coming from the Steelers. Good punch by Campon into a group of players, fired over the top by Jinho. Were originally called POSCO FC. Pohang, after the iron and steel company that owned the club. They were also called POSCO Atoms for a while. Adopted their current name in 1997. You do tend to get a lot of team name changes in Asia. Well, that's given away, and a chance here for Sung Mo. No conviction in the shot, saved comfortably by Campon, and that was a chance for Pohang to really wrap this one up with less than 20 minutes to go, but they haven't taken it. But they're still on the offensive here with Sang-woo. Teasing again. Mapuku. It's gone out of play. Unfortunate for Langil. Mentioned that Pohang won this tournament back in 2009. They also won the competition in its previous guise, the Asian Champions Cup, back in the late 1990s. They are firmly established as one of Asia's top teams. Finished third at the Club World Cup in 2009 after they beat Atalante in the third place match. And Sang-woo going down in the penalty area. It's a clumsy challenge from Narakorn. He can be a little bit fortunate that the referee hasn't deemed that one as a foul. He was nowhere near the ball. He got right across Sang-woo. There is no VAR for the group stages. Of course, there will be for the knockout stages. Well, certainly from the quarter-finals onwards in September. Here come Ratchaburi. Sang-woo. Kwang Hoon. Jinho. It's clumsy from Pavey, just clipped the ankles of Sang-woo, who's very much in the wars at the moment, and another yellow card goes the way of Ratchaburi. So that's one thing you need to be mindful of. Suspensions can often affect things later on in the group stages. There's no need really for Pavey to do that. The ball's gone from Sang-woo. It's unnecessary. He's played exactly the same number of games in the league for the last 2 seasons, 26 starts and one substitute appearance, and I think that yellow card may well be his last action of the game, because he's signalling to the bench, I think, that he may have to come off. I think he just stretched a groin when he cleared that ball over the bar not so long ago. Kietasak, by the way, was the man that went off for Girawat. Ball into the near post and headed behind for another corner. Good defending from Krit Salonen. Low ball in this time, nobody reacted in the middle. Be delivered again by Jinho. That's a goal kick. Nothing coming for Pohang. Alex Grant had pressed forward for that one. Yeah, I think the man that was booked a moment ago, Pavi Tanthatami, will play no further part in the game. Formed a pretty good partnership at the back with Vafa, to be honest with you. Vafa on his debut. And it will be a double substitution. Patum Chai. One of those that's coming on. And Praveen Wat Bunyong is the other player that will be introduced. That's Mapuku, that ball there, just clipping his heel. He had a couple of those where the ball's been in his possession and he's just miscontrolled. So Kritsanen has gone off, Praveen Vat has come on. And Pavi has also gone off with Patum Chai coming on. Sangwoo dumped on his backside once again. Again, there's no foul. It's an offside flag, I think, against Mapuku, which was flagged quite late. Approaching the final 10 minutes of the game, the opening match of this AFC group stage campaign. The Eastern region. Thailand, our venue for today. So no group games tomorrow because we've got the playoff to decide the final place in Group F between Shanghai Port FC from China and KOR FC Iolol from the Philippines. Can they become the second Philippines team in the competition after United FC qualified to become the first team from that country to make the group stages? Ratchaburi's debut at the moment in the competition. He's heading for a defeat as they can turn something around in the final 10 minutes. Pohang back on the attack once again, looking for a second which would wrap it up, and a stunning second goal it is as well. Well, they finally managed to make the breakthrough, and it's Sang Hyup who's been so impressive over on that far side. He and Sang Woo combined brilliantly in the first half. Sang Woo's pushed into a more advanced role, but Sang Hyup cutting in. 6 goals in the K-League this season and 1 to savour in the AFC Champions League. And the man who scored a hat-trick against Suwon in May has his first goal in the group stages. And surely now Pohang are heading for all 3 points. Tashti's goal in the first half put them in front. And he rightly enjoyed that. Lim Sang Hyup played in the AFC Champions League for Suwon Blue Wings last season. Got through to the quarter-finals. Now impressing here with the Pohang Steelers. Not too much time for recovery for Ratchaburi. 3 days' time they'll be back in action again. Here come Pohang looking to really turn the screw now and add a third. That's sailing wide though. Jurawat. Watayawong. Patumshai. Tanaset. Langil still full of running, taking on Alex Grant, who concedes the corner. Another change. Watayawong is the man that's come off, or coming off rather, and Montri Promsawat, winner at the 2017 Southeast Asian Games with the under-23s in Malaysia, is the man coming on. Actually scored in that competition in a 2-2 draw with the Philippines. Corner didn't really hit the mark once again. That's a foul by Patumshai. Ratchaburi have made all 5 changes now. Seksan Sirapong with the chances to try and freshen things up for the final few minutes, but getting 2 goals against this very well organised Pohang Steelers defence is a tall ask at this late stage of the game. Langil tried to flick Jurawat, couldn't get on the end of it though. Sung Mo. Ratchaburi felt that should have been their ball. Referees are starting to clamp down more on dissent towards officials, particularly assistant referees. .40 clubs this year, as we mentioned earlier, in this expanded AFC Champions League format. Driven goalwards, good save, Campon. He's got a taste for goal now, Sang Hyup. Another well-struck shot, goalkeeper equal to that one. Well, teams watching this will be mindful of that right foot of Sang Hyup cutting in from that left-hand side. Another change for Pohang Steelers. Kwon Jipyo comes on to replace Kang Sang-woo, who's been excellent, the man who adopted the captain's armband after skipper was substituted at half-time. So both sides have now made all their allocated substitutions, and Pohang still on the attack here. Haven't played competitively, the Pohang Steelers, since the end of May, since the season finished, so just a few weeks really for them to take some time out and then prepare for this tournament. Ratchaburi's last game was a 2-2 draw with Trat in the league at the end of March. So they've had a little bit longer to sort of twiddle their thumbs a bit. Mapuku on his debut just started to look a little bit leggy. Just looked at him there where he was trying to get forward. Heat and humidity does sap the energy here. Dushmaita with a free kick. 4 along that front line for Ratchaburi. It's too close to the goalkeeper again. Comfortable for Hyunmoo. Well, that's one thing they'll be disappointed with, particularly Langill's delivery. He's had 3 free kicks now, which have all sailed straight into the arms of the Steelers goalkeeper. Be interesting to see the comments of the coaches afterwards. Seksan Srupong. Sides certainly haven't been overwhelmed by the Steelers. Obviously, it took them a long time to get that second goal. And let's not forget, all the way back, they could have easily taken the lead inside the opening minute. That long-range shot from Kasadek, which flew over the top corner. If that had gone in, we could have been looking at a totally different game, but not to be. Substitutes have added a little bit of freshness into Pohang, particularly in the midfield. Ming Wang. Jin Ho and Su Bin just sitting in front of the back 4 now. It's good running. Kampon plucks the ball away. Final minute of the 90. Just a question in about 30 seconds, or 20 seconds rather, of what the officials are adding on for stoppage time. There won't be too much, I don't think. Just a bit of an allowance for those substitutions. It's Langill. Ball through again towards Mapuku, just a little on his heels, though. It was never going to really trouble the goalkeeper with that. 3 minutes added time then at the end of the 90. Don't forget, we've got another game to come for you in a couple of hours. Nagoya Grampus against Johor Darul Tazim from Malaysia. That playoff game tomorrow that we mentioned, and then the games do start to come thick and fast in the competition. Only the top team is guaranteed a place in the knockout stages. Praveen Bhatt. Overhits the pass for Dekmaita. Alex Grant. Kwang Hoon. Su Bin. Raking ball looking for Sang Hyub once again. He might get another opportunity here. Sang Hyub. They'll be mindful of him getting back on that right foot. Stabbed away by Tanaset. Dupio into his side, a corner. And this could be the last action of the game. Can Pohang add to their tally? Misses everybody in the middle. Mapuku's header away. Now Rakorn wins the free kick. Nobody really attacked that ball in the centre. It was a good delivery, one of the best deliveries we've seen from a set piece across the whole of the 93 minutes so far, but no one really attacked it in the middle. Ball was aimed towards Langil, but again comfortably cut out by Kwang Hoon before he could reach him. Well, the referee brings the opening game to a close, and Pohang Steelers from the Korea Republic safely with 3 points in the bag against the tournament debutants. Boris Tashti got the opening goal in the first half, and then a fine strike from Lim Sang-hyub towards the end. Seksan Sirapong's side made life difficult at times for the Koreans, but it was the Koreans that eventually came out on top. Those 2 goals, an early chance for Ratchaburi, and the only other real cut chance they had was a shot from Mapuku Jr. that was well saved by Hyun Moo. It was straight at him, in fairness. Moning had to bring the yellow card out on a couple of occasions for both teams, but of course they will face each other again in the penultimate group game, and Ratchaburi will hope to have a few points on the board by then as the competition progresses. Mapuku Jr. on his debut looks like he could be a useful asset for Ratchaburi. Just wasn't to be his day today. They worked hard. Stephen Langil, the captain, led pretty much by example, but not to be a fairy tale start to their AFC Champions League campaign. Full time here in Thailand, and it's finished FC Pohang Steelers 2, Ratchaburi FC 0.